Hey, Jared, are you surprised at how fast the week goes by, man?
It does. It really does. It's Thursday, but it's a good day. No work today, so I can play.
Oh, beautiful, baby. I wish I don't know what that means, no work today.
No regular work today to worry about. Just to have a good day, just to relax or
Mm.
chillax, as the youngins say. So
You know what I was having a hard time doing yesterday, man, and around the fourth race at Evangeline Downs? Relaxing. Oh, my
Evangeline,
God.
Evangeline
Mm.
was very cruel to my bankroll yesterday.
It was
Unfortunately,
cruel to me. Did you see that fourth race with that 8 horse that I had to clean out the hot dog pick four to that seven? Like 17-1. And
my
he probably,
seven got bumped and got shifted back in traffic. Then he re-rallied just to get second, and I was like, oh man, a lot of second-itis. And the only one that came through for me was the Green Monster. He did
Mhm.
win the race, but he was such a short price, I couldn't make much of a profit off my hunch. So
That
he
8 horse, if he wins against your Thunkit or whatever it was called, Thunk.
Thunk it. Yeah, that's the one he
Mhm.
got. He got shuffled back. He
Yeah, he
got
ended up beating me by a nose at the end. I had the 8, the one that he beat,
yeah,
and the one that he beat had it won. My
yeah.
hot dog would have paid like $900 for
Oh
50
man.
cents. And then so we had on last night on the show with on Horse Center with Sean and I, with Electra Boone, and she's got she came up through horse racing, never really was not like from a horse racing family, but around horses. She really loved the sport, got into the sport, did some stuff on TikTok, became sort of a TikTok sensation in horse racing, and so you want to check out her stuff over there on TikTok, but. So Sean and I were talking like you and I do, before the show got started,
Yeah.
and she clicked in right as that race was going on. And I'm going, come on with this 8, come on with this 8, come on with this 8. And I thought he was going to get, I was being a little animated, right? So
Yeah, why not? I mean, you got to. You gotta be.
good morning,
Hey,
Charles. How
Charles,
are
how
you?
you doing?
Yeah, we're
Well,
going to do Gulfstream today. And from now on, whenever Charles has a pick, he had that one yesterday, the whiskey something or another that neither one of us had
yes,
that came in one.
and Charles had that 2 horse at Tampa Bay Downs, which I played, which won. He was 8-5, but hey, he still won. So
Like
Charles
Terry
is good.
says, where else can you double your money in a minute?
Oh, yeah. And Rob is his name from Evangeline Downs, right? Rob.
Rob Toole, his 5 horse.
Rob Toole, his one, and I got shut out. I was about to drop it, and I got shut out. I was so disappointed because he was right. He was right on the money on that one.
And his red
So,
pen. So
his red pen special.
while Electra was waiting for us, and Sean and I are going, and I'm going, come on with this 8, come on with this 8, come on with this 8. When he just got nipped at the wire. Now Sean and I were up, and she was in the waiting room, so to speak. I didn't know the people in the waiting room could hear us. So, and
That's
then I let out a couple of expletives after it got beat, and then I came back to her. She's kind of looking at us with like, "What am I getting myself into?" And I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" She's like, "Are you okay?" And then I explained what happened. She's like, "Oh God, I've been around the track forever," but it was a really fun interview. They're always fun interviews, great guests. So again, if you haven't had a chance to head over to Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube, check out the Horse Center show last night with Electra Boone. She had some interesting thoughts too about 2-year-olds. What are your thoughts about 2-year-olds racing? She says she's totally against it.
2-year-olds racing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in low claimers, just so they get their feet wet. I think, and then you just bring them around, when they mature to that 3-year-old level and really get the campaign going because they have a little bit more, experience under their belt. Because they can get injured, and then once they get injured, they could have major setbacks, and you don't see them until they come into their 4-year-old campaign, or sometimes they don't appear back on the track for a year or two, and then they're 5, and then by then you're like, well, we'll see what happens with this one. Why has he been away so long?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know about their musculoskeletal like development. So to me, I don't know enough about that. I haven't read about it. I don't like betting on them because they're so
still more in
unpredictable.
development stage. Yeah, they're still more in the foal stage. They're still developing at that age group, at that 2. So then they don't have the muscular mass like these other bigger horses, older horses have. So they're more susceptible to injury. So I don't necessarily agree with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about the comment. All right, Charles, you say you had a bomb in the first race at Gulfstream Park. So
Okay, Charles.
That's where we're going today is Gulfstream Park. So let's see if either one of us has a bomb. I did find some interesting stuff going through our picks as I was putting this all together. I'll highlight one right now. Race number 8. Okay. You have your long shot with the 1 in race number 8. You have the 1. I have the 2. You have the 3. I have the 4. You have the 5. We both have the 5. I have the 6. You have the 7. So we only agree on one horse in that last race. So you know which one's going to win. The one we left out, which is what? I don't know. I can't think of it right now, but that's pretty funny.
There are 8 horses in that field. I do not know.
Yeah, Charles says there's a weak bone structure and 2-year-old. So yeah, I understand the argument that some of these horses are $1 million horses and you got to get them out on the track to start to recoup some of that money. But I think if you might end up getting more out of them if you let them fully or develop more. And instead of, I can think of like 8 Rings, and what was the other one that it ran against in Dennis's moment in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile a couple of years ago, and it really looked like those 2 horses were going to be just lights out. Neither one of them really ran as well as they thought they would in that Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And if I remember correct, there's not too many Breeders' Cup Juvenile horses that have come back and won like the Kentucky Derby the following year. It's pretty uncommon. So maybe it's a good idea.
I don't know. I mean, I've been watching the trail. This is, I mean, you can't even predict right now. This Kentucky Derby is wide open. It's probably the widest open Kentucky Derby we've had in several years. So it's going to be really interesting to see who makes the field on the Run for the Roses this year. So who knows?
8 Bells is a perfect example. Yeah.
8 Bells. Yeah, she died on the track. She had the massive heart attack and died on the track. I remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that, but yeah, that's
she didn't die. She fractured her leg and had to be euthanized. She fractured her leg
on the track.
Yeah, and then had to be euthanized. Yeah.
Well, since you brought up the Kentucky Derby Trail, our Chris Parmalu today put out his top 5 rankings with the odds to win the Kentucky Derby based upon the latest futures pool. So head on over to horseracingtoday.net. Check out Chris's articles. They're always fantastic articles. You might agree with him. You might disagree with him. It doesn't matter, right? That's the idea. Everyone has an opinion.
If that Santa Anita horse is his top pick, I definitely disagree with him.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing about it, right? Everybody has a say. And you and I have our say today at Gulfstream. So in race number 1, we have a 5-furlong race on the all-weather track, maiden claiming $3,500. And for the maiden, for the 5 furlongs on the all-weather, a profile of a winner, 82 races, 57 won by speed, 30 of which went wire to wire. The post positions play the same 1 through 7, but if you wear the 8, you get a small penalty. So you know what? The honor, as they say in golf, man, the honor is yours. Today's the beginning of the Masters, so the honor is yours. You're on the tee box first today, my friend. Are you gonna drive this one right down the middle of the fairway, 300 yards, or are you gonna shank it?
I'm gonna drive it right down the fairway because there's really no other place where to go in this race. So I went with the number 7. The number 7 horse is my top selection in for race 1 today. Victor Barboza is the trainer, and let me tell you something about Victor Barboza. This trainer.
What are you going to tell us about Victor?
What?
What are you going to tell us about Victor?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be surprised. So maybe you already know. Most people know, but Victor Barboza is a high percentage trainer. He's been having an excellent meet at Gulfstream Park. He has Yaramilo Esmail in the irons today, riding this entry, and number 7 is number 7 is Major King. Major King ran in his last workout 3 furlongs at Gulfstream in a blistering 36.2, 2 of 11 workouts on the day. Major speed for Mr. Major King, and Mr. Barboza is winning. I'll tell you 1 second. Mr. Barboza is winning in these spots, maiden races, at a whopping 36% in these spots. And you want to guess what the ROI is on these races, Rich? That he's
probably about, well, if he's winning that high rate, I'm going to go about $1.50.
It's actually higher than that.
Okay.
$6.64 ROI in these
wow.
spots. So that speaks volumes to me. We're not going to get the price.
That is down the middle of the fairway, 300 yards.
Yeah. 4 times on your money. So I'm taking the number 7 to win. And he's a first-time. I believe he's a first-time.
Yeah, starter. He's a first-time starter.
Yeah, he's the first-time starter. And with first-time starters, Victor Barboza wins at a whopping 28%.
Not bad.
28% with an ROI of $4.72 on the dollar.
He's kicking some rear end,
he's kicking some ass at Gulfstream. So he's my number 1 selection today.
Well, my number 1 is number 1, Pork Chop.
Well, and I will. cover her. I think she's in my selections, but I
Yeah,
think I
you
had
have
her
it as
number
the third pick.
yeah,
Yeah.
I had her as a number 3 pick. Yeah, I had a number
Mhm.
3. She encountered some traffic problems in her last race, and she's a little much slower than the other contenders in this race. So I had her a little bit lower rated in my pick. She's my third selection, and my number 2 selection in race 1 today is the number 4, Great Speed, Miguel Vasquez with Steve Dworskin's horse. He's the trainer. They're winning at 18%. This horse has good speed, similar conditions in his last, and finished third. So he was my number 2 selection. And then my number 4 selection was
Number 6. We had we
number
had
6.
four fourth
Yeah,
selections
number
throughout the
6.
night.
Number 6 was number 6, correct. Number 6.
Mhm.
1 second. This is a long shot. Maybe this is Charles's long shot, but I found this is a turfer who ran in a 25,000 maiden special weight in his last outing. I don't know too much familiar with the jockey. The last couple of workings have been subpar, but this horse did run. Well, he hasn't ran in almost a year. So this is what really turned me off about this horse. But when he ran on August 29th of 2021, he ran a blistering 5 furlongs in a whopping 56.2 flat, and he finished 8th at that speed. So I don't know. That's a really big wild card and a big layoff. This horse hasn't raced in 221 days.
That's
So
a huge layoff.
yeah,
So, Charles, time for you to throw up your bomb here in race number 1 at Gulfstream. I'm going to go with the number 1, as I said. I know you said he's a little bit slower than the other ones. I like slower horses. Did you ever do the tortoise and the hare fable? Did you miss that one?
No,
Pork chop.
The adage sometimes plays out.
Oh yeah,
So
sometimes the hare wins too. But first off, the claim, and trainer Jose D'Angelo wins 32 out of 100, 32% for the quick math class there. And although I'm not a giant fan of that maiden claiming step up there from 10,000 last time out, I like the 4 horse, as you do as well. Second spot here, Blank's Hat Trick. That's a Terry horse all the way, because Terry's always on those hat tricks. Like the internals here, that they were constant from start to finish in the debut. So if you look at the 2, and this is from Henry, but I think the 2 furlong number was 81, the 4 furlong number was 80, and the late pace number was 81. Something like that. So the fact that there was no drop off in the race from the 4 horse from start to finish, I think is a huge sign. I'm expecting him to improve here in round 2
with the blinkers, because he has blinkers today.
Yeah, maybe be a little bit more focused today.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Shanghai Warrior has the top early pace numbers, and it's not even close. Although I do have to discount those numbers because it is the Tampa to Gulfstream discount. If it were the other way around, I would be boosting the numbers.
Tampa's
Finally, yeah, he was fast. Yeah, well, I mean, the horses at Gulfstream, when they go down to Tampa, they tend to bump up their numbers a bit. And when they go the other way around, they tend to decline a little bit. Although the horses that do come from Tampa tend to be fit from running in the sand. Number 7, Major King, your top choice. My 4th choice is the first-time starter, as you mentioned, with Victor Barboza. I don't have anything to add to your biography for him, but he does have a 37-cent positive ROI for first-timers out of the barn. And then on the debut, maiden claiming, he has a positive ROI of $1.28. I'll take both of those anytime. You can turn $1 into $2.28 in a minute and a half. I'm all over that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so neither one of us have his 5 horse. Charles says the 5 horse. David Donk ships to Florida, gets better. Jockey bombs away. Bad break last race. Mid move against the 3. So fortunately, this doesn't start a coming from Tampa last race trainer 67% Lasix winner. Fortunately, we don't have a pick 3 here or a pick 4 that we're working on. So, hey, folks, let me just tell you something. When Charles throws a horse out there, man, you better be on it.
You better be on it. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm wearing the 5 in honor of that today.
Well, that's kind
coincidence,
of
but
coincidence. Yeah.
Maybe
it's
one of those things that you had. What was that show that they had with the conspiracy theories? I forget the name of it, but anyhow,
I don't know.
I don't remember it either. Race number 2 is, I shouldn't bring it up. This one is just, and I think this might be what you did, to be honest with you, because once again, we have very few picks that are overlapping here. But this one is a 4.5 furlong maiden, $55,000. They don't run any of them at this distance, I don't think, in the last meet. Purse is 55 grand. The race starts right on the turn, and every single horse in here is a first-time starter. For 2-year-olds, which we talked a little bit about earlier, about whether they should be running or not anyway, but they're running in this race, Jared. So you just went bomb, 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 bomb. I think you took the 4 longest shots, expecting anything could happen in this race and hoping that it does happen, and you're boxed it up. Did I get that squarely?
Oh, well, kind of, but I had a little bit of like, I looked at some of the percentages with some of these trainers in these situations. Some of them, those decisions kind of made logical sense. I also looked at trainer jockey combinations. On the 3, I took the 3. Lionel Reyes is a sneaky, race 2. Wait a second. I'm sorry. Once again, number 6. Where did I go with?
Awesome Flay, number 6, race 2.
Yeah, race 2. I went with number 6. Once again.
Hey, that's a pretty good shot too. He's 20-1 morning line. So I think if I remember correctly. No, he's 10-1. I'm sorry, with Lionel Reyes.
I mean, Lionel Reyes is a sneaky good jockey. I do like some of the works that I've seen. 3 furlongs at 38 breezing. Works was 9 out of 15 works on April 2nd. And he's got another work before that where he shows 38. There's been no reduction in the horse's works. He's coming in fresh. The conditioning looks good, so I selected that horse as the top selection. And then for my second pick, I picked Luna West. Luna West is trained by
he's trained by Jose Garofalo.
Yeah, this trainer is an interesting trainer.
This is the 20-1 shot.
Yeah, I always go with the trainer that I cannot recognize on a track. I don't necessarily throw it out like the betting public does. I say, who is this trainer? What is he doing here? And why is this a different trainer than the general trainers that I usually see in the mix? So I did include this horse. This horse, his works were actually better than the 3 horse, where he had a bullet work of 3 furlongs at a blistering 40 seconds breezing flat on March 28th. Those struck out to me, so I decided to select the 4. And Miguel Vasquez is a dangerous trainer. Is a dangerous jockey. He's been put in these spots where you can get bombs with him. So I've seen it before, so I'll try it again. So I selected him as my number 2 selection, and then I went with Safi, Joseph Safi's horse, the number 4. The number.
We have 6, 3, 4, 1. So yeah, I think you went over to 3.
4. Yeah, 4. That was the 4. Luna West, and then Beautiful Astray. The number 1 was my 4th selection. Now, Beautiful Astray. I just liked it because of the jockey. Marco Meneses is a very dangerous jockey too, and sometimes he has a tendency to win in these spots out of nowhere. This horse had some also impressive works. I'm not sure where he was working out because I don't recognize the track, but he did have a 37 breezing out of the gate work on March 29th, which was 1 out of 3 works on the day. 37 breezing is pretty fast. I don't know if this is 4.5. So you figure he may be right there. So this could be your bombs away race right here in the second race.
And a lot of these are bombs away races. So I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Charles brings up that the 5 horse here, War Woman, the 5 horse, Dam has 9 winners from 9 starters and 1 stakes winner. So that's a pretty good number there too. I went back and looked at like the pedigree of all these horses, and because you just don't really have much to work on. You got a couple of workouts in there. You don't know how hard the trainer's pushing the horses in these workouts. You don't have a sense, and they're all first-time starters. You really have no idea how they're going to break, how they're going to load into the gate.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
No question. So I agree with your philosophy. Take the 4 longest shots for the most part and see if any 2 or 3 of them can come in. And
it's one of those spots where you just kind of have to take a stab at it, especially with a maiden special weight like this at such a short distance.
Yeah. The only thing I wonder, if you look real quickly here, you can see, I'll pull this up on the screen. The race starts pretty much right on the turn, it looks like to me. So, and this is an interesting thing to me. So I would expect that a race that starts on the turn like that, you see up here in the corner, that the inside horses probably are going to have an advantage. I don't know that to be certain, but just from a physics side of things, if you will, or a spacing type thing, you would think that they do. I went ahead with the 2 horse here because as I was going through the mamas and the papas, right, the pedigree,
Tell me why you like St. Joe Jet. That's an interesting.
So it was the only one in the field. So I looked at all the daddies because these horses, and they wanted to see which ones of the daddies actually got out of the gate and went fast. You know, the old saying, like father, like son, right? These are maidens though, so like father, like daughter. Well, these are females. Yes, they are females. So like father, like daughter. We'll go with that. But looking at it, the only one that had a fast daddy in the whole crew was the 2-horse. Every other horse was a stalker or a mid-pack horse or even a closer. A lot of them didn't break sharply. So if St. Joe Jet is anything like Papa Chitu, then it's going to get out of the gate in a hurry, going to get to that turn first. And it did have a workout back there. It was a bullet workout. I mean, one of 8, 2 furlongs. I don't know what that means, 26 seconds. And then from there, I went with
seconds per furlong, probably.
Yeah, well, it was 26 seconds for 2 furlongs, so 13 per each. I think that's probably pretty quick.
Yeah.
I do have Cajun Hope bullet workout on April the 1st. I do like to see that bullet and go. Decent workout prior to that on March the 26th. Trainer Michael Yates is the top first-time starter for the trainers in here and has all positive ROIs on these maiden type runs. Keanu, trainer Carlos David, top win rate at the maiden special weight group in this field. So I focused on the trainers that tend to get these young guys out here in running right away. And then finally, I agree with you, the Beautiful Astray on the rail with that quick turn. I think it could be advantageous. I made St. Joe Jet my long shot in here because, as I said, Papa was the only one that had any giddy up and go. So I'm hoping his daughter has a little bit of Papa in her, gets up and goes and makes quick work of these guys going into the first corner.
Mm-hmm.
That was my thinking. Does that sound like
a
decent rationale? Or
I can't knock you. Angel Arroyo is sometimes dangerous in these spots too, but you can't take them all. So I got to go with what I've seen.
Terry takes them all. I have a feeling. If Terry were here today and not enjoying himself on the nice warm beach with a nice cool drink, with his honey bunny.
Terry would say, I always like to take old reliable. That's me. I'll just take the most reliable. And he's
going to take the all. He would take the all there. Absolutely, for sure. All right. Race number 3. We're going to get away from all of these first-time starters and these quick sprints on the track. We're going to go 1 mile on the turf, optional claiming $32,000 for a purse of 31,000 years old for 31,000. And when we look at 1 mile on the turf, 121 races, 73 won by speed. So you got to have a little bit of early leg to you. 35 gone wire to wire. So the faster you are, probably better. Post positions 1 through 7 play very fair. And if you get an 8 or out, it is a penalty, but not really a deal.
But not necessarily on the Tapeta. It is not a penalty. I've seen them win at the Tapeta. If you're on the Tapeta, the outside horses do quite well.
Outside closers tend to do well there. Yep, indeed. So you like the 4-horse to get it started. Big Bad
Diva, trained by Mr. Joseph Safi Jr.,
who just won the title down there for the most recent one. Good morning, Mike from East Texas. How you doing today?
If you didn't have Todd Pletcher there for the Gulfstream Championship meet, they would have been all Safi all over the place. That was for sure. So Safi teams up with Junior Alvarado on the number 4, and they win at 18%. And this horse finished second in his last outing. And at 5-1 odds or less, the trainer wins at a whopping 27%. So number 4 is my top selection for race 3. And my second choice is the number 3. It takes a small drop. He finished third in his last. He had really nice fractions. He's likely to improve. And I think he can move up from a third place finish in his last to possibly a second place finish here. Behind the lone speed. I really think that the 4 is probably going to go out to the lead, and he'll try to hold it as long as they can. So I see possibly a speed duel between the 4 and the 3. And then I put the 1 in third. He drops in. It's a significant drop from a 25,000 to this 12,005. So it's a little bit suspicious to drop, but maybe they're just looking for, a piece
collect
of this
some money. They got to pay some barn bills, baby.
You got to pay some barn bills and get some more hay. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, indeed. Got to get the good hay though, not any hay, the good hay.
You need the hay and the oats so you can run.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my third selection, and my 2 had scratched, and I don't remember what I had replaced it.
Race number 3, I don't think the 3 didn't scratch in race number 3. The 2, I think the scratch was all in race number 1. I don't think there were any other scratches.
4-1-3, and I don't remember what I picked as the.
You had the 2-horse as your 4th.
Oh, the 2-horse. The 2-horse. Thank you. The two
You're
horse.
welcome.
Yes, I did see the bullet work on this one, but I was not sure. However, I took this horse principally for the fact that one of my favorite female jockeys gets on board. Chantel Sutherland is in the irons for this one, and I do like the way she's been riding lately. And so I thought she may have a potential chance. And even though I have her in fourth, she could surprise and get a piece of this purse and possibly move up.
Yes, and on our show, when she's been on a couple times, she's been on, wonderful guest, very helpful for horse racing today. She mentioned she does like those horses that get up and get on to the lead, which that horse, as you said, did show some bullet works there. So and I have that in there as well. So for me on this race 3, 1 mile on the turf, I'm going to start with number 6, Smart Spending. This horse could be the pace setter. And despite being the pace setter, does have the top late pace numbers in the field. So you get to the front and you can outrun everybody at the end. You can't pass what you can't catch, right? And then here's your jockey, your trainer again, Victor Barboza. This time, though, I'm going to tell you about Victor, and when he has a beaten favorite, he rebounds 26% the next time out with that horse. A number 1, Sweet Pearl, did run 3 consecutive speed figure increases, culminating in the top last race speed figure for this group. Does have the top early pace numbers in the field, and I'm expecting Sweet Pearl to be a little bit better in round 3 off the bench. Is Adorable Ada. I hope I got that right.
Is Adorable Ada.
Yes, the 2 horse. That's the one with Chantel on there.
Yes, with Chantel.
And what I like about this horse is it on the 2 furlong pace number, the 4 furlong pace number, the late pace numbers were all better in the last start than they were in the previous start, which tells me the horse is getting sharp. And as you mentioned, has that bullet workout. So it looks to me like this is a horse that's ascending in form and that hasn't peaked and is on the way back down. And then your top choice is my 4th choice, Big Bad Diva. And I did write that this horse could win this race. Coming off the bench, more often than not, the horse is sharp when returning from a little bit of R&R. Race number 4 is, this is your best bet in here, Jared, and it is a 1 mile regular race on the dirt, which tends to favor speed. Maiden claiming 12,500. So I love that you just got a lot of cojones today, going with all the first-time starters in your box setup, going with the maiden 12.5, the low-level horses.
I love my maiden. And my angle works. 5 times out of 10 it works for me. I just love the first-time starter, and you get this first-time starter. Luis Saez gets the mountain. Louis been killing it also at
he just won the jockey title down there. Yeah,
and also he gets a really kick-ass trainer. I mean, if you have watched, Martin Drexler is winning these races with his first-time starters at a whopping 21%.
Workable.
So, Martin Drexler is a hot and up-and-coming trainer, and I've been really impressed by his mounts. And some of his winners, I mean, we're not talking about 7-2s. We're talking 7-1, 8-1. He had 2 9-1s last week, and the week before that he had 1 10-1, and the week before that he had an 8-1. So this guy is bringing them, and they're bringing the change purse.
He's getting you paid, baby, when he comes home.
Getting you paid, exactly. Yeah. Building your bankroll. So don't sleep on Martin Drexler. I definitely would put my money on Martin Drexler's horse today. And then the second choice that I have in this race today is the 3. Solid jockey trainer combination.
I think you have the 3 first, or unless I got them wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Race number 4, you got 3, 9, 4, 5. Yes, indeed.
5.
And I'm the old guy that's supposed to forget stuff.
I have the 5 as the prime. I have the 5 as the prime.
You have 3, 9, 4, 5 here.
I'm sorry.
Do I have to reorder them?
No, I'm looking at my notes and I messed up my note. One is rate. I'm giving you selections for race 5. Excuse me. I jumped the gun. Race 4, the number 5 is my top selection. Nice.
Are you sure? Because I have the 3 as your top selection.
I'm sorry. Yeah, though that's correct. No, now I'm the old guy today. Yes, 3 is my top selection.
Are you sure?
Yes, in race 4. In race 4,
right.
3.
Race 4.
Is
yes,
my
we're
best
on race 4. Yeah. The 4 with the 3. Who's on first?
3 is my top selection. Showed pretty nice fractions in his last, and I see the classic Z pattern in this horse. So this horse was coming at the end, trailed back, faded back to about 2 2/4 lengths, then rebounded to finish about two lengths off of the leader of that race before falling back, but then regrouping. So there's a classic Z pattern that I see with these horses. And sometimes what happens is they have this energy disbursement that comes at the end of a race. They'll fall back,
A
but
second
then
win, so to
a
speak.
second win to try to like re-engage, like a second burst, like a reserve tank. And that kind of has a way of the building up the horse for its next out. So I really like to see that in a horse. It's not an angle that I always play, but when it's evident that it's there, those horses usually come back to win. So that's why I selected the number 3 as my top selection today. And then the third selection that I have today is the number 9 horse.
Which is your second one.
Oh, sorry, number 9, because
Yes.
I have Luis.
Got to keep this rooster on track, baby. Trying to corral this cat.
My scribble looks like a 3-year-old's like drawing, so it's very hard for me to read my own handwriting today.
That's why I type mine out, because I have the same. I have the same problem.
Yeah. So I have number 9 with Reyes. I believe Luis Reyes is riding this horse. The number 9. Let me take here. Yes, Luis Reyes rides this one. Don't know. I don't know a lot about the trainer. The works have been pretty solid. And iGen is of the pedigree of Datalink, and Datalink was I believe he was a graded 1 stakes winner. So that was interesting. This is also a really big long shot today. Well, it probably will be 15-1. So it's really a stab in the dark, but I'm going to give it a shot on the turf. And then my 4th selection was the 4. Finished second in his last. It's a short comeback on short rest. You always like to see a horse that comes back on short rest if it ran really well the last time. So it probably has something extra in the tank for its next go. This horse finished second in its last, and it's coming back on about, I think it's 9 days rest. So
that's a quick turnaround. Yes.
7 horse.
Yeah. So Charles is on the 7 horse here. Says another bomb in race number 4, the 7 horse. D Black Mamba drops in class, expecting improved effort here. And like I said, man, when Charles throws something out there, you better listen. He's like, I don't know, you probably don't know these commercials because you're a little bit younger than I am, but maybe we should rename Charles E.F. Hutton, because back in the old days, there used to be these commercials that when E.F. Hutton talks or speaks, you should listen. So when E.F. Hutton Charles puts out a pick, man, you should
Charles,
what you're doing and listen.
He gives you the pick of the day.
What do you think of that, Charles? We'll call you E.F. Hutton. Are you all good with that? Are you familiar with those old ad campaigns? Anyway, are you through with race 4 yet, or no? Have I confused you even more thoroughly?
We'll just call him Cash Charles because when he's bringing horses into the fold, they're gonna cash. I just call him Cash Charles.
Yes, E.F. Hutton. When he talks, you should listen.
Charles has been good to me. Charles has given me the tips when we talk in other venues, and Charles has been like, "Yo, Jared, you may want to go on this one." So I'm like, "Okay, if you say so." So he's given me some winners, some really good winners in the past. So I can't knock Charles. He's a good friend. So,
well, I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win, and I don't have the 7. Unfortunately, I wish I did. Number 4, Inner Wave, is a horse that showed some significant late pace improvement last time out. And the interesting thing here, when the pace setup, if you look at it, could be the alone speed in this race. Showed a little bit more interest at the end of the race. If he can get out to the front, they might not be able to catch him. Ghost Fighter, your top pick, is my second pick. Small drop. Did run better 4 furlongs fractions last time out. Better in the first half a mile overall in his last effort. And by far has the top pedigree in this scores for the distance and surface. Yes.
Out of Ghost Sapper. So you gotta always keep an eye on those Ghost Sappers. So,
indeed. Yeah. Number 1 is Co-Pilot. Biggest dropper in the field, gets the rail edge. Trainer Robert Hess Jr. hits at 30% when he moves down 2 classes. That more than doubles up his overall win rate of just 14%. And this horse, I remember when I was a kid and in sports, football practice, wrestling practice, whatever practice we were in, the coach would say, "Are you ready?" And then I would always respond, "I was born ready, baby." But so this was a hard call for me over the 8 horse.
I cannot recall the last time Robert Hess had a winner. That's how bad it's been for Robert Hess. So I don't know. I mean, I can't knock you, but
I don't have him winning. I have him in 4th. I don't know when the last time he had a 4th place horse was, but it was a hard call for me over the 8 horse. But the 8 has had a lot of chances, and he didn't take advantage of them yet. So this horse is a $15,000, the second most expensive horse in the field. Second best pedigree and average works versus big number. So it's running like the 30th fastest out of 150 and not the first fastest out of like 3. So I kind of like that a little bit, right?
I'm gonna knock you.
Yeah, he likes the Hutton thing. Cash Nice Exacta 4, 3, and 7. Hedge or box it up. All right, that takes us off. Well, before we go off to
4, 3,
race,
7. What was he? 4,
I
3,
think he's
7.
talking. They think he's talking
Race
about
4.
it in this race right here.
Oh,
Nice,
race 4.
Cash
Okay.
Nice Exacta 3, 4, and 7. Hedge,
Oh,
box it up.
okay.
So before we move on, let's see what else can we talk about today. I know what we can talk about. Oaklawn Park. Our
Ooh.
Terry Hollywood. Hey, we'll be back on Monday. I'm sure that he's missing us right now, but he's at Oaklawn Park today with his best bet over at horseracingtoday.net. Race number 6 at Oaklawn. Dancing Cossack is his top pick. Shack's Way comes in at number 2, and Megatap is his third selection there.
So I'll throw one back since you segued over to Oaklawn. I'll give you my best bet today at Oaklawn. My best bet at Oaklawn today is the number 2, Hartley.
In what race?
This horse should destroy this field.
But what race, my man?
Race number 8.
Okay.
Race number 8 today.
Otherwise, we'd just be betting all 2s all day, hoping to catch Jared's. And then if a 2 won any race, Jared would be like, look, that was my best bet. It was race number 3.
Race number 8, the number 2. That's my best bet today.
Race number 8, Jared's best bet at Oaklawn Park today. So you can catch Terry's best bet every single day. And heck, Jared will be putting his best bets up here come Monday back in the comment section. So,
absolutely.
All right. So what race are we on now? Because you have me thoroughly confused. Race number 5.
We are on race number 5.
You know what race number 5 is, Jared?
The start of the prime rib.
Well, it's the start of the prime rib, and it's the end of the hot dog. So you know what that makes it?
A double dip dog?
It makes it the race of death.
The race of death.
Yes, because you have to win that one. Otherwise, it kills both tickets, right?
So I don't think I'm going to lose that race.
I love the attitude, baby. I love the attitude. And since we have the 2, 3, and 5 in our first 3 picks, we agree. I don't think I'm going to lose it either. I'm along with you. But this one's 5 furlongs on the all-weather. That's how we started the day, with 5 furlongs on the all-weather. 82 races, 57 won by speed, 30 of which went wire to wire. The post positions play the same from 1 through 7, and you get a minor penalty if you wear an 8. I don't think that comes into play here. No. All right. Why are you not going to lose this race? Why are you going to win it?
This is the one I was referring to earlier. This 5th race, this is Martin Drexler's entry. This is the number 2. This is my top selection. Marty Drexler is winning at 21%. He gets Luis Saez. He's second in the jockey title at Gulfstream right now. And Saez is my guy, is my money man. I put my money very confidently on Luis Saez. So number 2
too many horse players. Yep,
is my top selection. Number 3, a solid jockey trainer combo, wins at 36%. This is D'Angelo's horse, I believe. I have to double check that, but I believe this is Robert D'Angelo's horse.
The 3 horse?
Yeah, I'm gonna double check that.
All right. Well, you go on and keep talking about your other horses. I'll double check it for you.
So we have.
It is Mauricio Fuentes horse, Drinks on Me, the 3 horse.
Okay, so I did something wrong, but all right. So
it's a chicken scratch handwriting. It's just a killer.
Yeah,
man.
I'm sorry.
Let me give you a little pointer. Type it out, baby.
But I did see that this horse has a solid. This trainer jockey combination has a solid ROI of $1.56 in dirt sprint races.
So I think your 5 horse is the D'Angelo horse coming up.
Yes,
Vale, Junior Alvarado and D'Angelo.
Correct.
Yes,
indeed. D'Angelo. Yes, that's the number 5. Yes. See, I'm the old man today. I can't think straight. That is D'Angelo's horse. And
the Vale.
Paco Lopez gets the mount. This horse has in 8 starts. This horse has 5 wins, 2 seconds. I'm sorry. In 8 starts, this horse has 5 wins, 2 seconds. And with the blinkers go on, the trainer wins at 29%. So the 5 was definitely my selections tonight.
And then you're closing it out with the 1, I hope.
And then the 1, Victor Barboza trained. This horse was 4th in his last race. Yeah, he was
beautiful.
4th.
Maybe he'll finish 4th again today. That's why you have him 4th.
Maybe, or he proves the 3 and pushes the 5 into the super.
All right.
Maybe that should have been my box him up, but I figured, you better go with the bombs.
Yeah,
I'll,
you got the
I'll
bomb
still
squad up
I'll
top.
still end up boxing it in the exacta because that's how I always play it. But
That's the DeAndre Wilder box it up to a bomb squad for sure. All right, so race number 5 is the race of death. The pick closes out our hot dog pick 4s. There you can see we both agree on the 3 and the 2 on the back end there. We both layered them exactly the same 3-3, 2-2, starting in race number 2. In race number 5, I do like the 3-horse Drinks on Me. Top last race speed figure. I love the fact that this horse loves the all-weather track. Run on it 9 times, has a handful of wins. You put him on all other surfaces. Yes, he still has a handful of wins, but it took him 37 races on other surfaces to do what he could do in 9 on all weather, and did show some late interest in their last race. Number 2, Elise, as you mentioned, gets top jock Luis Saez in the first off the claim for your guy, Martin Drexler, who wins at 25% on that angle versus 17% overall. So delivering some alpha to the broken down horse players. Number 5, Vale, first off the claim for Jose D'Angelo. As I mentioned a little bit earlier in the show, Jose hits at 32%. 32 out of 100 made the math easy for me, and does possess the top early pace, late pace combination in this field. And finally, number 4, Miss Big Spring has the most early pace by far in this group and a bullet workout on March 30th. I expect Miss Big Spring to be the one that they all are chasing and have to beat to the finish line. So that wraps up our hot dog pick 4. Absolutely. Race 5, I'm single in the 4-horse. Good luck today. Got to expect the horse to go wire to wire with positive jockey switch. Yeah, I have the 4 in there too. He's not in my hot dog, but he is in my prime rib.
4-horse.
Yeah,
Spear gun.
No, race number 5, the one we just came out of, and that's the Miss Big Spring.
Oh, Miss Big Spring. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Race number 6, Jared, are you ready for race 6?
Race 6. Okay.
5 furlongs on the turf. So that's
5 furlongs on the turf. Number 1 entry. I took number 1, and Tyler Galifone gets the mount today, and it's trainer Wesley Ward. Now I don't know how Wesley
is really good at get. We had I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I forget who we had. I think we had on. Oh, I don't know who it was, but somebody told us that when they ride Wesley Ward horses, that he trains them to get out of the gate so fast that you almost have to hang on for dear. I think it was Chantel was telling us this.
I believe
that the Wesley Ward horses come out so fast and so hard that like you're hanging on like for dear life. So, but anyway, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you. I've confused you.
This is his spot, a 5 furlong turf race. Usually he's
absolutely yep.
Usually he races at 4.5 at the Keeneland track. So if Wesley Ward is here, this could be gearing this horse up for another possible appearance down in the Keeneland meet. So maybe this is a fresher up, but or getting this horse going. But Wesley Ward is the trainer. Tyler Galifone gets the mount today on the number 1. The jockey trainer combination hits at a whopping 46%. You can't go wrong there. And this horse showed a 5 furlong workout at a minute flat on March 31st. Top work out of 16 works on the day. So I'm going to go with the number 1. The number 2 selection that I have today for the 6th race is Luis Saez. Luis Saez gets the mount. He's teaming up with trainer John Thomas. And when the two of them get together, they win at a whopping 35%. And Thomas is 35%. With 61 to 180 day layoffs. And then in 43 starts, this trainer has 10 wins, 9 seconds, and 9 thirds. So I went with the number 5, and then as the number 2 selection, the number 3 selection of the race 6. This horse has the trainer is Mark Cassie. Jockey Yaramil Ismail gets the mount. This horse showed a great bullet workout on March 13th with 4 furlongs at a blistering 48.4. So the works were impressive. The horse comes in with good form. Mark Case is a very good trainer. I don't know what we'll get out of it since he's going against Wesley Ward today. But we'll see. So I put him in for number 3. And then you can't count out Mr. Junior Alvarado. So I have him as the number 4 selection. 18% with claiming drops on 31 to 60-day layoffs. The trainer hits at Carlos David, wins 28% of the time, and he's 21% in turf to sprint routes.
All righty. So for me, looking at this spot, it is a 5 furlong on the turf, 70 races, 41 won by speed, 24 of which went wire to wire. And it doesn't really matter what post position you get. I'm going to go with the 5-horse High Front. Did win his debut with ease with the top last race speed figure. Has been off for a little while, but has 34 furlongs of workouts since then. So no question, High Front's going to be fit for round number 2. And that jockey trainer combo of Luis Saez and Jonathan Thomas, they've teamed up 10 times. They've won 6, and they finished in the money 100% of the time, 10 out of 10. I hope I just didn't Jim Nance field goal jinx that combination there. Number 1, Zano, first off the claim. I expect it will be better in the second off the bench. Does have the top early pace figures, which again matter at the shorter distance, and a nice workout since the last race. Number 6, we have the same for horses, just a little bit different order. Mm-hmm. Discreet Tune in the money, 8 of 11 at Gulfstream Park, 9 of 12 at the distance. So likes the track, likes the distance, got to like that. Also got to like the fact that it ran for $100,000 last time out in a non-graded stakes. So not facing that sort of competition here. The step down in class should be helpful. And I had a real difficult time between the 1 Ice Chocolate and Spear Gun. I went with Ice Chocolate coming in from Brazil, won 3 in a row down there in Brazil, including a Group 3 race. And a lot of times those Brazilian horses, they do have some early speed. And when they have early speed and they have first-time Lasix, which is I'm hoping what we'll see out of Ice Chocolate, that combination can be very effective. Might need one here in the U.S. before it really finds its form.
You saw the monster workout on this one. This one had the monster workout. That's what caught my eye. The 47.4 that he ran on March 22nd.
That's a fast workout. Yeah, indeed. That's an in-race time almost for like depending upon the distance for sure. Tonight at 8:30, we're going to do the Santa Anita Derby on the Players Edge podcast. I don't know who Sean has lined up as a guest. I do know that Chris Parmelo, who does the Kentucky Derby work for us, will fill in for Terry tonight. So that'll be the 4th person on the show. Chris always has some very interesting looks at horses. He's a real pace player, and he's a real data guy too. So we're always having some email exchanges back and forth, Chris and I, about different data ideas, different ways to look at horses, what's working for him, what's working for me. And that's the great thing about horse racing today. It is a community. If you have any questions about handicapping, you have some thoughts that are working, and you want to share them, you can hit us up here at Horse Race Today on the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or I have one now too, HRT Rich on Twitter. I did it. I jumped in. I probably regret it, but I did. More work for me. So you can check that out. It's at HRT Rich. So make sure you check out that show tonight. We'll tell you everything we think about the Santa Anita Derby, the Santa Anita Oaks, and the race in between those two. Again, that'll be tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Racing Radar. Whew. Okay, race number 7 at Gulfstream Park is 1 mile, 70 yards on the all-weather. It's an allowance $43,000 race. The first time today we see that distance, though they did run 122 of them in the previous meet, 66 of them won by stalkers and closers. So the first time today that we do not see a speed bias. 11 of the horses of 122, so a very small amount, went wire to wire. You do have a slight rail edge. Otherwise, every other horse post position is about the same. And I'm going to lead off here with number 4. Uno Tiger is my best bet at Gulfstream Park today. The horse has run 1 mile, 70 yards twice on the all-weather surface, has a win by a neck and a second by a neck. So it knows where that finish line is, 1 mile, 70 yards. So 2 times out, a neck away from being undefeated in both. Has the top late pace numbers. And again, late pace is important at the distance and surface. And I don't think he's going to be all that far off. So he might be 3rd or 4th and then use those powerful late legs to bring him home first for Rich's best bet of the day. You like the 2-horse instead, Jared. Tell us why.
High percentage trainer jockey combination. Once again, it's Marty Drexler's horse. So I did like that. And from turf to dirt, he grabs Luis Saez for this mount and 44 mounts. And he's got 17 wins, 3 places, 8 shows with Marty Drexler's mounts. Only getting 80 cents on the dollar, so you're actually losing a little bit because he generally is a favorite in most of his races. but they do win a majority of the time. So I went with the number 2 selection over the number 3. I have number 3 as my second selection. Another hot jockey trainer combination. Junior Alvarado gets the mount in an allowance races. He's 42% in dirt routes to sprints, and in 20 starts, he has 5 wins, 1 place, and 2 shows in these situations. And then on the third selection, I have your number 4. Catherine O'Connell is a dangerously sneaky jockey. She's the trainer, and she grabs Paco Lopez for the mount. They win at a whopping 24% in allowance races, and Paco with O'Connell have an amazing ROI of $5.03 on the dollar.
That's amazing indeed.
Yes.
That's why I got it on top, baby.
And then I had number 6 for the 4th position. Joe Orseno is the trainer. He grabs Edwin Gonzalez in this spot. The works have been solid, but they only win at a marginal 15%. So.
You know what? I look at it like this. 15% is alpha. And here's my reasoning. I've talked about this before, but I come from the stock market world where, like, if the stock market performs 10% and you made 9%, you didn't make money, you lost money because you underperformed the market, right? So in the United States, the average field is 8 horses deep, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a little under 8 actually, but so that means you have a 1 in 8 chance, just mathematically speaking, to win the race. So that's 12.5%. So any angle that wins at more than 12.5% is an alpha angle, because it's delivering you more performance than just a straight up probability of an 8-horse field of one of the 8 horses winning. So 15% for me is not a bad number. It's actually better than average. All right. So race number 8, we're off to race number 8. This is my box it up. It's also your long shot. Race number 8 is, let me pop into here, 1 mile on the turf. Made an optional claiming $40,000. Again, 1 mile on the turf, 121 races, 73 won by speed, 35 have gone wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7 play fair. You get a penalty if you wear an 8 or higher. Not really a deal killer, as I said. So why don't you tell us why, again, you're looking at our picks. The only one we agree on here is the 5. I have him 4th, you have him 2nd. Otherwise, we have just about every other horse in this field. So tell us why you like the long shot as the 1, and I'll go through my box it up.
I got Angel. I get Miguel Vasquez in these spots. Miggy Vasquez is just the type of jockey that can ruin your pick 6 on the day, because he's just sneaky good.
Not if you have him as your long shot and your top pick.
I mean,
you ain't gonna ruin anything as your top pick.
But for me, because I don't play the pick 6s, but he's the type of guy that would ruin your pick 6. He gets Mark Cassey as the trainer. Together, the two of them win at 20% with the first time blinkers that go onto a horse, and they win at 19% when they go from dirt to turf. So I like that angle. So I use the number 1 as my top selection. And then number 2, the second horse that I used in this spot, the monster workout that I saw, I have Junior Alvarado gets the mount on the number 5. The horse showed a 4 furlong workout at a 41.7, a 47.3 breezing. It was 1 out of 19 on the day of works on March 26th. And he had a small drop. This is a minor drop for this course. I wouldn't really consider it a drop, but it is a drop. And he finished 3rd in his last at similar conditions. So I went with the number 5, thinking he'll get the improve and get into the exacta. So I have him at number 2nd. I have him in 2nd place. And then number 3, 3rd in his last race, Paco in the saddle teams up with Jose Pinchin. This horse is out of Tisway. The pedigree suggests that he's built for the turf. He is a natural turfer. And so I have him in there to win and get a piece of this person.
Did you catch that, Jared? Nicholas Dayton says, hey, first time, long time. What do you think about Epicenter dropping out of the Derby and running and pointing towards the Melbourne Cup in Australia? I hadn't heard that yet. Had you?
I did not hear about that, but I wasn't on Epicenter to begin with. I didn't like his what was it? The Rise, not the Ryzen, the Lecomte effort that he had. That was for his race to win, and he just was totally pace compromised up front with the speed duel that he with the pressing horses that were on top of him, and then he didn't have a good outing in the what was it? He just went to Oakland, didn't he, Rich?
No, he won both of his races so far. On the front, he won, and then he won last time out from behind Epicenter.
He lost the Lecomte. No, the Lecomte he lost.
I think Epicenter is he won his last 2 races? Let's see real quick. Epicenter.
He lost to a long shot, which I had. I can't remember. He lost to I didn't
Let's
have
see.
him.
Epicenter. I think he's won his last 2 races. I think he's really actually pretty. I think he might be the second most points in the Kentucky Derby. Yes. Last couple races results for Epicenter. He won the Louisiana Derby. He won the Risen Star. In the Lecomte, he did finish second.
Lecomte. That was the one that, I didn't see the Rising Star. And the Lecomte was the one that I was remembering because I was betting that day and I had the long shot on top, which came through for me on that. I don't know, but I didn't hear about this, but he wasn't going to be my primary contender for the Kentucky Derby. I was not.
I hadn't heard about that either. So that's some good breaking news on there.
That is interesting news.
So you got 2 more picks in the last race.
Probably going to make Classic Causeway now the favorite for the Kentucky Derby.
Nah, not the way he ran in that last race at the Florida Derby. He's got no shot.
You know, horses that have a bad outing at the Florida Derby, you still can't count them out in the Kentucky Derby.
No.
He had, I think Gunrunner ran in the Florida Derby. I think it was a couple of years
Well, the
ago.
Florida Derby and the Santa Anita Derby produced the most Kentucky Derby winners since they've gone to the point system. And then I think the Arkansas Derby is right behind that, right?
I like to see what happens in the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes.
Which has not really been as great, as strong as a track as Keeneland is. The Bluegrass Stakes rarely puts the champion into the Kentucky Derby.
But you always find the exotic special trifecta horse out of that race. Over the last couple of years, I've had it, and it's come out of that race. So it's something to think about.
All right,
just to watch the performances. But
give us 2 more horses.
That's just me. You know,
I know everybody. I just, to me, I'm always one that I like to go back and look and see what's worked before. I'm a big believer that there's a reason why things work, and there must be something about the track at Gulfstream Park or at Santa Anita where horses that run well there are comfortable running at Churchill Downs as well. So I don't pretend to know what it is, but
Santa Anita has a really fine, grainy dirt. It's not as potent and clayish like the eastern tracks. They've been to Santa Anita. It's like a fine powder, and I think that horses that come to Churchill, like they take to the dirt because the consistency of the dirt is they're used to the softness of it, and the softness of the dirt at Churchill is kind of fine and grainy when it's dry. But it can be really chalky and clayish when it gets muddy. You've seen it when it gets muddy. It's a mess.
Well, Mike Smith said it's a cuppy surface. He told us that you have to really pay attention to the workouts at Churchill Downs leading up to the race because they're very indicative of how horses perform there because it is a peculiar surface.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to the behavior as you're watching the horses in the post parade and beginning. You see if they're nice, like kind of like dancing and cloppy on the surface, like with their hoofs, they're enjoying what they're walking on. So you have to pay really close attention to that. If you see them like bouncing, they're probably not comfortable. But if you see like this hoofy kind of cloppy kind of movement in the hoofs, they really like the surface. So
all right. So Kentucky Derby's a month away. So you have 2 more picks. Let's see what your last 2 picks.
And then on the third selection I had was number 3 in the 8th race. Paco, I said that Paco was in the saddle. This was Jose Pinchin, and this horse is at a Tisway that has the pedigree that suggests that we'll like the turf surface. And then I have number 7 as my 4th selection. Had a monster work, 4 furlongs and 48 breezing. Kent Sweezy is the trainer. He teams up with Edwin Gonzalez. When they combine together, they win at 25% in turf routes. So I used the number 7.
I think Life is Good is not going to be in the Derby. I think he's too old, right? He's a 4-year-old. Yeah, and he just ran out in the Dubai Cup and got beat. Yeah, well, I picked Country Grammar there too because I felt that was the first time Life is Good's going to get pressed. All right, for me, this is my box it up to end the day today at Gulfstream Park, and it also will end our prime ribs in just a moment there. I'm going to go with the 6-horse Ring Run. This is the only maiden special weight dropper in the field, coming down from a $60,000 purse last time out. Has 2 decent workouts since that last race and was decently bet. And this horse has the top early pace and late pace combination based upon its lone start. Number 4, Uncaptured Grace. This is a horse that's got some versatility, can win from the front, the middle, or the back. And the pace, depending upon how the pace plays out in this race, I think it'll be forwardly placed here because you have pressers and closers. You don't really have a lot of front runners. Like, you don't have horses, the classic front runners, when you look at the past performances that go 1-1-1-1-1 across the board to the winner's circle. Number 2, Pretty Keen. This horse is one that tied for the top last race speed figure. Just missed in that last spot. I think finished second by a length and a half. Big move late. And that was despite clicking the heels at the start. You look at a couple different races, the horse seems to find trouble. So if Pretty Keen, can stay away from trouble, I think she has a pretty good race in her. And finally, War Woman, the very beginning of the show, our friend Charles pointed out War Woman as a horse to keep an eye on. There's another that tied for the top last race speed figure, put in a bullet workout on March the 26th. And this horse is one that should take a step forward in its second start of its career.
With Junior Alvarado.
Yes, indeed.
I have him on there. I have him in the spot.
No worries, Tommy. That horse is I think he's just a year too old. Everybody was hoping that he would run last year, but got injured early on in that. And maybe this is we started out the show talking about 2-year-olds. I think Life is Good got injured as a 2-year-old and wasn't ready to come back for more than a year. And I wonder if they regret running him as a 2-year-old, because he might have been the Kentucky Derby winner and may have well been one that competed for a Triple Crown, which would have made missing a couple races as a 2-year-old bearable. All right, to bring up our prime rib pick 4s. There you go, Jared. I think
we went similar tickets construction. So
exactly the same ticket construction in the middle. So looking at the first couple races, we have a lot of agreement in the first 3 races. In that 4th race, though, the last race, race 8, if the 5-horse doesn't win, no chance that both of us can come home a winner.
Don't they give a consolation?
No, it's not meatloaf, baby. But we did talk about yesterday on the Horse Center show. There is a guy out there who worked with Ray Pollock from Pollock Report, and he's put out this thing called EQL, I think, where it's a sports betting and horse racing betting app. And so, like, if you do a pick 6, for example, and you get 4 horses, you still get paid. If you do a pick 10 and you pick 6 horses, you still get paid. I mean, you're not going to get paid a lot, but you're going to get some fraction. It's not an all or nothing 0-sum game.
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, it's all about the pools, because I tell you, I had an exacta the last night at Evangeline's, as we were going, just to backtrack for a second, and I was trying to figure out how the pool. I mean, I had an exacta, when I looked at it, it should have paid at least $50, and it only paid like 24. And I was like, what kind of pools? So it really matters about the pools.
Pool size is that you got to play pool size. Absolutely. All right, here we go. One last time. Here are all of our picks for Gulfstream Park from races 1 through 8. You see Jared has his best bet. In race number 3, he has his long shot to close the show. My best bet is in race number 7. My long shot is in race number 2. Jared boxes up the first time starting 2-year-olds in race number 2. If Jared's boxed it up, comes home, you're going to make.
I'm going to
bank
Ruth Chris tonight on that freaking race, basically.
If that happens, you will. Our hot dog pick 4 starting in race 2. We both structured them exactly the same, 3-3-2-2. And then our prime rib pick 4s look a little bit like this. Again, same structure, 3-3, 4-4-3-4. Hopefully they both come home winners. All right, Jared, that wraps it up, my friend.
It's been great.
What do you think?
Great. What
did you think?
I think it's been awesome. It's been an awesome experience. I've enjoyed it. It's been fun getting different perspectives, hearing, how you approach a race. You're getting a little bit more perspective how I approach a race. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed the opportunity. It's been a lot of fun being in front of the camera and behind the camera, and I'm looking forward to seeing Terry again. I'm glad he got a good vacation. And I thought you mentioned that he was going away again in May.
Yeah, you'll be back in May. So Terry will be gone for a couple
I'll be making a second coming in May.
Yes, he'll be coming back. So everybody, round of applause for Jared. Thank you, Jared. It's been my pleasure this week.
It's been a pleasure. It really has. I've really appreciated the opportunity. It's been awesome.
So today, if you're going to bet at Laurel, one quick thing, head on over to Horse Racing today. Guaranteed tip sheet. You'll see that Laurel in the slop is the free track of the day today. Race number 1's already in the books. We had the exacta trifecta and the superfecta with those top 4 picks. Hopefully we can keep that up in the slop over at Laurel Park. That's free over at guaranteedtipsheet.com. Again, tonight we'll be back with Sean, Chris Parmalu, Tom and myself trying to keep track of all these names, going over the Santa Anita Derby. Tomorrow, Tom and I will be back at 1 o'clock Eastern, same place, Horse Racing Radar TV. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We appreciate that.
Give the love, buy the swag. It's all good.
What's up, Attila? How are you today?
Hey,
Yes.
Attila.
Yes, go over to horseracingtoday.net, click on HRT gear if you'd be so kind. Great way to support the show. I know Jared says that he's eyeballing the number 6 hat over there.
I want that 6 special right there. I can put it up there for Kentucky Derby Day and be like, where'd that hat come from? I'm like, well, that is my secret, and you need to, I don't know about tell people about it.
Jared wants to pop this one up there, and I can tell you, the other day we had we showed that Cece Perkinson was wearing the red number 1, right? You saw that. Mm-hmm. So I sent her an email thanking her for wearing that and sharing it with the public and so forth. She emailed me back because I said the lady in red, playing off of the song.
Yeah.
And she got back to me and told me that at the track, absolutely everybody asked her where she got that shirt from. So make sure that you look great at the track. Jared, you'll look great in this number 6. Looking forward to seeing you do it.
I'll wear that number 6 and sport that number 6 at the Belmont Park meet. I'm good with that.
Indeed. And a lot of folks will be asking you where you got it. That's it, Jared. Any final thoughts before you head up and out of here and back to the comment section?
It was a great opportunity. It was a great experience. I look forward to doing it again. And then hopefully, I look forward to getting your input and, maybe expanding the content of things. And, maybe the structure of the show changes where you have a lot more voices and you have a lot of different, conjecture going back and forth. So you add different people into the mix, and so there's no telling how far horse racing today can go, but I definitely think it's going to be around for a long time. So it's going in the right trajectory. And, everybody who supports the channel and, everybody who contributes, it makes things better. And I was just glad I could be a part of it. So I've really enjoyed the opportunity.
I absolutely am thankful for you coming in, filling for Terry. Appreciate it wholeheartedly. All right, Jared, one last time. We hope to see that your day, your picks, and everything that you do today in your honor ends up in Jared's
winner circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Thursday, folks. We'll see you tonight for the Santa Anita Derby. Take care.